ranked team in the land, the LSU Tigers. For EA Sports College Football, I'm Reese Davis, David Pollack, Jesse Palmer alongside. Guys, we can't wait to see this game. Been looking forward to it all week. LSU ready to kick it away to get things started. And it'll come out to the 25. No attempt at a return. The offense will have to use its first timeout of the half. This crowd bringing an ear-splitting welcome to their visitors. They'll run the RPO and throw it right. And this one will be stopped for no gain. Guys, let's chat about Georgia. What does the top 5 ranking mean for week 1? Optimism, hope, maybe, David, an excuse for the other team's fans to rush the field if they knock you off?
Well, it means, first of all, absolutely nothing, because preseason rankings don't show up anywhere at the end of the season, but it means this team is talented. It means they're thought of highly. They got to go earn it, Jesse, and it starts today, but the talent obviously is all over the field.
The number in the preseason rankings means absolutely nothing. You saw Florida State recently start in the top 10. They won 2 games by the end of the year. So you've got to go earn it. Yes, you're talented. Yes, a lot of eyeballs are going to be watching you, and people are really excited. You've got an opportunity to do things really, really that are special this season, but you've got to earn it on the field.
Catch in the middle. It's dealt. And he gets it to the 45-yard line, and that'll be a first down.
Yeah, and that play takes some protection. If you're going to stick it in the belly and that wide receiver is going to run down the field that far, I need some good protection, and I need my lineman not to go downfield. Nice job by the quarterback making the right read, being patient, throwing that strike.
Fires to the big fella. Good pick up there. They'll move the chains, and they're set up at the 41. Now, last year, there were long stretches in which the Georgia offense hardly looked like a well-oiled machine. Now the quarterback's transferred, new full-time starter in there. I think it's fair to say, David, that the Dogs need more from the quarterback position this season.
They do need more, but I tell you what, they didn't help him the whole spot around, right? The offensive line, running backs, receivers, it was kind of below average for every position, but the quarterback is the tone setter, the captain, and having a guy like Gunner at the helm, man, this is a dude they all trust, they all respect, and I expect this offense to bounce back in a big way.
Found a little running room, and they get him stopped after a pickup of 6 to the 32. Love seeing these early season top 25 matchups. You can get a really good feel of how good these teams are, guys.
And the intensity is going to be big too, David, because the players, you know, on these teams, they've been thinking about this game for a long time. They knew they'd have a national stage, and they got a chance to prove just how good they are.
Oh, man, make that statement. Make that early statement. We always look at the end of the season, and what does the committee say? Oh, they beat top 25 so-and-so. Here's your chance to put that on your resume that'll pay off big time in late in the season.
This offense wants to get out of the gate fast on their first drive of the game, plus territory. They'll go for it on 4th down. Off the RPO, throw right, looking for the chains. The Bulldogs get enough for the first down. They were easily within field goal range there, but they don't feel like you can win this game 3 points at a time.
No, pass. I mean, you got to be aggressive. You got to get touchdowns, man. You've seen the emphasis. Defenses are willing to give up yards now to make you kick field goals. I like this offense being aggressive. Forget the 3s. We need 6s.
And the defense forced that incompletion with the deflection.
This is the matchup everyone was excited to see in this football game, and it doesn't take long to get to it. One of the best receivers in the game, one of the best corners in the game, one-on-one, quarterback taking a shot, and early on, it's the corner who wins, knocking it away for the incompletion. That won't be the last time these two guys go toe-to-toe, but this is where your eyes need to be all game long.
He's brought down, but it'll be enough for a first down.
Who says in the RPO pass game you can't throw anything vertically downfield, right? It doesn't all have to be screens and throws at the line of scrimmage. There's a good example of a quarterback pushing the ball vertically downfield after the play fake to the running back.
The give to the tailback. He'll be hauled down just inside the 10 of the 9 as they're trying to turn this into a score.
Listen, you got to be able to know what play to call and what hole to go through. Like the line blocks for a certain hole. Good job getting through the hole, getting what was blocked, getting a nice positive gain, making your situation really good on the next down.
Pulls it and fires to the left. And he's down right there. Picked up a few, but still some work to do to get a first down.
Well, if you're going to get first downs against this defense, you're going to have to earn it. You're going to have to make people miss. This is an excellent tackling unit. You saw it on that last play.
The terrain gets rough this deep in the red zone. Third down, they can't pick up the first without scoring. Strong, tough run, and he's brought down just inches away from the score.
Hard to imagine this is only their first drive of the game, but their defense was on the field for virtually an entire quarter. So, guys, there's a lot of pressure on this offense here to convert this third down so their defense can stay on the sideline and get their win back.
And he is just engulfed at the line by this giant defensive tackle. Timeout called here by the defense. It's the first one they've used this half. Now second and goal, and right in the teeth of this noise. Trying to barge their way in. And again, stopped right in his tracks, nowhere to run.
And with the stuff there, Jesse, on second down, this little third to mid-range, you got 2 downs. What are you thinking here?
Maybe getting your quarterback out on the perimeter and giving him a run-pass option. See if you can get the defense in a bind.
Got his man on the right. And after the tackle, we are headed to the end of the first quarter. They're thinking touchdown here on 4th and goal. The kicker stays on the sideline. Offense calls a timeout here. Critically important to make sure they have the right play called and everyone on the same page here. On 4th and goal, no thought of the field goal. They'll go for the touchdown. Pushes for the goal line. He's stopped. 4th and goal, and he lost a yard back to the 2.
And listen, I have no problem being aggressive on 4th down, but the consequences of that, now you got to have your defense go belly out. So you started the game trying to be aggressive. Well, defense, you got to get my back now.
And the Tigers are backed up. They can feel the shadow of their own goalpost and trying to create some room. Looking for space. It's Durham. Gives him a little breathing room. Picks up 5 and gets it to the 7-yard line.
It's going to be important this offensive line is able to get a little bit of push. You just got to give this guy an inch, a little crease, and he can make yards for it.
They'll try to pop the draw. Not much room there. They'll give him 1 to the 9.
And, man, the big fellas up front, they don't get a lot of credit. They don't get talked about a lot unless it's negative, but they're the big component, man. They've got to get some push, to get some running lanes, get this running game going. They're the ones that make it go.
Wants to throw. It's Gus Meyer. Quickly out to the tight end. Hauled down, but they'll move the sticks as he picks up the first down. David, that is a great security blanket for a quarterback to have a tight end to make those conversions.
Dang right. Find the big fella on 3rd and short. Dependable, clutch, nice hands, first down.
got it in the middle. It's Brown. And the defense settled in to stop that one for a short gain.
This quarterback right now is in a groove, and he's doing a nice job in pre-snap. He's reading the coverage, and he's getting an idea of where he wants to go with the football. That's why the ball's coming out of his hands so quickly, and that's why he seems like he's in a great rhythm right now.
He might want another play. Here's the handoff. Tried to move that pile forward. He maybe gets two. He's down at the 21. The Tigers come to the line on 3rd and short, looking to keep the drive moving. He's going to look for a man on 3rd and short. Unleashes one. A beautifully placed ball to the outside, and the toe drag for the big pickup.
Well, there's the trust this quarterback has in his guy, right? He knows he's going to give him an opportunity in critical down and distances. 3rd down, find your best matchup, because you know he can make the catch, he can get his feet in bounds, and keep the drive moving.
And he never had a chance, just stopped cold as soon as he got it. They tried to run the counter, but absolutely nothing doing.
And those counter plays take a little longer to develop sometimes. You're usually pulling 1 or 2 guys, and that penetration in the backfield can kill you, can get to the running back before he gets started.
Looking downfield, it's Nussmeier. Makes the grab on the left. And the defense stops him just short of the 1st down. Maybe needed a few more chain links to move the sticks.
And the offense here dialed up a really good zone beater. Give credit to the offensive coordinator. He called the right play at the right time.
The Tigers come to the line trying to find a way to convert on 3rd and very short. They'll run the toss. They were all over him, nowhere to go as that 3rd down play turned into a disaster. The clock winds down to 2 minutes, and we will take a pause for the 2-minute timeout. They told us they were going to be aggressive no matter where they were on the field. Didn't take long to prove it. Going for it on 4th down in their first drive. He'll try to throw and pick up the 1st down. Big man has it. It's a 1st down and more. Drag down, but they'll move the sticks for a 1st down.
That tells you a lot about their confidence in this quarterback. 4th down early in the game on your own end, and you go for it, but when you make decisions and throws like that, it's easy to see why.
To the air on 1st down. He fires a bullet to the right. Pick! Oh, what a play by this defense. He stopped not much on the return, but a whole lot in getting the football. Let's see if this offense can get out of a hole as they start this drive at their own 8. To throw, it's Stockton.
Well, nice job getting to the quarterback, getting the big sack, making sure he didn't have time to buy some more space, and he almost grabbed him and pulled him into the end zone. He almost got 2 points and a safety.
Listen to this crowd just shaking the girders of this place, trying to help their defense. Got him downfield. They're able to get him stopped just shy of the 1st down marker. The offense burns its third and final timeout of the half.
One of the nice things about RPOs is that it's a slow-developing mesh between the QB and running back, and that allows these receivers time to get vertically downfield and work their routes. You saw it right there on that play.
They're going to go to the air on third and short. Makes the grab. It's Frazier. They didn't get a ton of yardage there, but they're really effective at using the back out of the backfield, and they do it to get the first down here. And the Dogs come to the line with a fresh set of downs. Wants to throw on first down. Picked off. What a play to set him up. Didn't get a ton on the return, but they've got it inside the 20 at the 19-yard line.
And I love this defense being ready at the end of the half, playing the 2-minute situation beautifully, forcing the turnover here now, a chance to break this tie, get some points. Nice execution by this defense late in the first half.
Looking to throw on first down. Grabbed over the middle. It's Brown. And good coverage by the defense, just a short gain.
Nice completion here to this wide receiver, and you're going to see this receiver line up in different spots all over the field all game long. Defense has got to keep their eye on where this guy is because they know he's a big part of this offense's success.
In football, you hear the term quick, but don't hurry. And you can tell when you run these RPOs, the QBs want to make that decision quick. And I think he hurried it a little bit too much, got the ball out quick, but obviously was inaccurate with his pass.
It'll be third and long. On the run, it's Durham. And they're able to get a third down stop here. See if they go for it on fourth. And on fourth down, they'll try to salvage the drive with a field goal. Nestled just inside that right upright. And the first points of the day come on that field goal.
Well, it's a good news, bad news scenario. You got the pick, and you would have liked to have paid that off with a touchdown, but because the drive stalls out, you're still happy to get the field goal.
He makes the fair catch deep in his own end, and I get the criticism, but man, he probably wanted to at least save a few yards of field position. So let's see how they play it in this final 30 seconds of the first half. To the air, it's Stockton. Moving away from pressure. He'll try to do it himself. They'll force him out of bounds after a solid pickup on the play.
Man, this defense has their hands full today because not only do they have to worry about the running backs and not only do they have to worry about the passing game, they've got to worry about this quarterback running the football because of plays like that. Not a huge explosive play, but he showed you the athleticism, and he showed you he has the ability to hurt you with his legs.
Wants to go up top. Picked off, and they ruin an early drive with the turnover. And they come up with a big play to make sure no more points go on the board before the end of the half. So let's see how they play it in this final 30 seconds of the first half. Give to the running back from the shotgun. They'll wrestle him down just short of the first down. I don't even think they're going to bring out the chains to measure this one. We've got a timeout in the waning seconds of the half. Maybe a chance to get off a couple more plays. Running out of time here in the first half. They're going to have to be efficient to put some points on the board before the break. Takes the handoff. It's Durham. Big pickup on the ground here to keep this drive moving and give them a first down. They'll use a timeout right before halftime. Maybe time for one or two more plays. And if the kicker can put one through, this will be a successful drive. And he'll try to make it 2 for 2, this time from 35 yards away. And this one is perfect. The lead now 6 here in the second.
And listen, y'all know in the booth and everywhere how I feel about kickers. Don't always love leaving it on their foot, so to speak, but nice job executing. He keeps doing stuff like that. I'll keep trotting him out there.
On the move from inside his 5. They'll knock him down, and that'll take us to halftime. We played 2 quarters here. Time to go to Kevin Connors in our halftime update. Georgia will kick it deep to start the second half. Here he comes from inside his own 5. And good work by the coverage team to knock down the return man. First play of this drive comes from the 14-yard line. They'll start this third quarter with a run. Nice move to keep running. And he's able to shed one tackle and pick up pretty good yardage.
And winning first downs is a priority for a defense, and you can't get bludgeoned. You can't get physically beat at the point of attack. You know the percentages. It's usually pretty good on first down that they're going to run the football. So them getting that big chunk, getting in second and short, not a good job by this defense.
Well, you got to give the defense credit. They knew a big key in this one was slowing this dude down, especially after how well he played the last time out. They have been swarming him. They have been gang tackling him and getting a lot of penetration up front.
To the air. It's Nussmeier. Makes the catch. They bring him down, but not before he's able to pick up the first down. Third down, a lot of times it comes down to not necessarily who's the most open, who do you trust the most?
Yeah, it's not about the X's and the O's. It's about the Jimmys and the Joes. And when my guy's better than you and I get you matched up out wide and I know I trust you, I'm fine.
The run game just has not been working for this offense all game long. We saw it on that last play as well. Just not getting enough push up front on the offensive line. They haven't been physical enough.
Didn't get much on first down. It's 2nd and 9. Using his feet to buy time. Complete downfield. And he was loose and out the gate and doesn't go down until he gets to the 48-yard line. Think about when Garrett Nussmeier goes into the quarterback room at LSU and there are giant murals of Joe Burrow and Jaden Daniels, Heisman winners. Jesse, that's some pressure. But man, if he can cut down on the turnovers, he might join them.
Yeah, there's no question about it, Reese. This guy has a lot of talent. I really also just appreciate the fact that he stayed put at LSU. In an era of college football where especially quarterbacks are transferring 2, 3, 4 times, naming off those...
He hurls one deep down the left side. He almost had the pick, and that could have given them a boost. Instead, it'll be third down.
And this offense is just, they've struggled to get in a rhythm. And I like they take a shot down the field, but interested to see how they can maybe get some easy completions for this quarterback and get him in a little bit of a rhythm.
Might be calling a hot route. On 3rd and long, he'll need to loosen up that arm. Oh, it's picked off. Not the second half start they'd hoped for. Takes it the other way.
And if you're the quarterback, you might want to stop throwing that guy's way. I mean, you knew coming into this game, David, he's one of the best corners in the entire country. He's already been picked off twice now. He is literally living in this quarterback's head rent-free.
And so nice to have a guy like this that can cut off half the field. Because now you can put resources elsewhere. He's proven, if you try me, bad things are going to happen.
Red pass, it's complete. The ball is down at the 14 after that grab.
And that's what I love about this offense. You're not going to get all of your big chunk plays in the passing game by throwing it deep down the field. You can kind of dink and dunk. And on that RPO play, they had it dialed up and set up to go to that player in the right flat. Nice job.
And the Heat will get home, and the quarterback goes down at the 17.
Man, it didn't take long for the defense to get home on that play. You see them playing man coverage in the back end, slowing down the routes from the receivers and the rest of the offense. That forced the quarterback to have to hold on to it for just a split second longer, and they were able to get the sack.
Back to throw, it's Stockton. Here comes the heat. Throws toward the end zone. And he can't find his man as he was trying to pay off this red zone opportunity.
This offense has had some struggles early in this game so far. They're just trying to get something going, and so you take a shot. You try to find your best one-on-one matchup and see if they can make a play. The defense was ready for it. Good coverage on the back end. They look very prepared. All 11 guys on defense right now playing together as one.
Fourth down, and this crowd is making it miserable on this offense. He'll try to throw and pick up the first down. Complete out of the backfield, looking for the sticks. Will not get there. A fourth down stop.
You know, offensively in that situation, fourth down, you're throwing forward, everything has to go right, or someone just needs to be able to make a play to keep the drive alive. They couldn't get it done, and now the offense is coming off the field.
Now they've got breathing room, got 6 all the way out to the 20.
You want to make play calling easy for an offensive coordinator? Run the ball like that every play. I mean, when you can run that on first down and set up a short yardage on second down, it makes play calling easy. Every single...
And they get to the quarterback and knock him down back at the 16. If there's ever been a position group that sort of identifies with the team's mascot, it would be the bulldog mentality of this Georgia front.
Those hunkering down dogs up front, they got to hunker down and stop the run and be physical. And then guess what? It gets into passing situations. Now I'm quick. Now I'm on the edge. Now I'm making that quarterback's life a living you-know-what.
LSU getting set on 1st and 10. Looking for a man. It's Nussmeier. Pressure coming. And the defense makes a play, and they get the quarterback down at the 26.
How nice is it as a defense when you can drop 7 guys into coverage, only rush 4, and still get home? That makes you feel good if you're the D coordinator.
The give to the back. They'll knock him down for a loss of a couple.
You just got to wonder how frustrated this guy is, especially after the success he had their last game out, but just nothing going in this one. He has not been able to get himself into a rhythm. There have been way too much penetration up front defensively. They have been able to stop him in his tracks.
And the Tigers are in a mess here on 3rd and a mile. Looking to throw, and he needs a bunch. And it's picked off for the 3rd time today. No real chance on the return, but they've got it at the 34.
Well, the good news is after that second pick of the 3rd quarter now for this guy, they're still winning the game, but they are living dangerously right now. And they can't expect to hold on to that if this guy keeps making bad decisions like we've seen here now in the first period of the second half.
And it's got to be frustrating because you always talk about taking care of the football, and you've got to lead. In the second half, you need your quarterback to play smart.
Didn't get much on first down. It's 2nd and 9. Back in motion, trying to clear the picture. Hand off from the gun. Knocked down at the 29 after a pickup of 4. With the break, they had a little extra time to dial something up for this 3rd down play. Quick pass to the left, trying to get it to the marker. He'll come through on 3rd down as he's got enough, and they'll mark it at the 23. We asked earlier this week, who's your favorite receiver? And, of course, he said the open one, but we know who he really wants to go to on third down.
The best one. I mean, I think the open one, obviously the politically correct answer, but you want to find the guy that you got that great chemistry with. You know exactly where he's going to be. You got that bond and that trust.
You know, it's a nice throw by the QB there. When you're throwing to running backs, you got to make it easy on them. So you want to put it right on their body, make the catch simple, and let them go to work like they did just there, getting that first.
And they're looking for a fourth quarter lead, and they'll need a touchdown to do it. First and goal. And those two couldn't make the connection. It's an incomplete pass.
I love the quick decision the QB made there on that RPO, knowing he wanted to get it out of his hands fast. He just needs to make a more accurate throw moving forward.
He'll run it up the middle, trying to pick his way to the end zone. And he rolls into the house. Touchdown, Georgia!
And I like the running back's vision. He sees the hole, explodes through it. He knows where the goal line is, gets in the end zone, gets 6.
Extra point here will give them the lead. And they did have to knock through the extra point to move on top, and they have the lead in the fourth. We check in with Kevin Connors. What's going on, Kevin?
Dynamite matchup this week, fellas. Let's show you what's going down. USC has just had no answers today. You should see what the Trojan greats are saying on social media right now. Reggie Bush, Matt Leinart, talk about not safe for work. They're trailing by 14 to Texas A&M. We'll circle back if anything big happens you need to know about.
And how about that one? Kevin will be keeping an eye on everything going on elsewhere. And it's incomplete. They were looking for the huge gain on first down.
One of the biggest reasons today why this offense is losing in the game is they haven't been able to get it going throwing the football. This guy still has not thrown a touchdown pass. They thought coming into this game they were going to have tons of success throwing it. But you got to give the defense credit. They watched the film. They've been mixing up their looks defensively, trying to confuse this quarterback. And again, on that last deep shot, it falls incomplete.
What a big play this one could be. Tight game, getting late. Third and long coming up. Dropping back, it's Nussmeier. It's complete. That one could really put this drive into high gear as they have a first down at the 37.
That's a great job by the wide receiver there on a critical down. Third down, running the curl route, coming back to the football, making the catch, and picking up the first.
Looking to throw on first down. Snagged in the middle, it's Brown. They stop him almost immediately. Short gain there, and still a little ground to cover to pick up the first.
And this offense just hasn't found a way to kind of open it up. Like they haven't found those explosive plays. It feels like the defense is kind of strangling them and staying really close to the line of scrimmage because of their lack of their big play ability over the top. This offense has to dial something up.
They make the stop, but not before they do their work up top and pick up a first down.
Great job by the quarterback there. He saw the safety bite on the run fake. So as the safety comes running downhill, he now knows he has the slant throw to his receiver on the outside.
Got the first down and more. And he's brought down after a nice gain.
First down, physicality wins football games. Being able to run the football and create balance. And right here, just choose up another first down, gives you another chance to maybe continue to run the football.
And I feel like this guy, too, is just an explosive play waiting to happen. His vision, his quickness, and he's got a burst. If you give this guy just a crease, he's going to hit it. And right now, he's doing some damage on this defense.
Picked up 2 yards on that last one. They need 8 on second down. Looking to fire. Got a man. It's Brown. He almost picked up the first down on that one, but he'll be just a little bit short.
You just get the feeling this defense is going to make it hard on them, right? They've got the lead, it's late, and they're going to try to tackle everybody inbounds. Offense is going to have to really work for this and be smart. You got to attack the sidelines. You got to throw first downs. You got to keep this thing moving vertically down the field.
We've reached the 2-minute timeout, and time is of the essence for this offense to get things done. The Tigers come to the line on 3rd and short, trying to keep the drive alive. Bully ball on 3rd and short. He's got enough for the first down. They'll spot him at the 24-yard line.
Yeah, 3rd and 1, you know what time it is. It's about the big boys up front. You got to give me a little bit of space, a little crack. You just can't give up that penetration, so my running back can fall forward just like that and get the first down.
Timeout called by the defense. It's their first of the half as they'll make some adjustments.
And this offense doesn't have very many runs left in them. They try to sneak in the run. Nice job by the defense making the tackle. But they've got to try to maximize their time, maximize their plays to try to get some points on the board.
The play-action fake. And he was drilled just as he released the pass. It's incomplete.
And this offense has been a struggle bus. I mean, just call it like it is, guys. It hasn't been good, especially the passing game. And I'll tell you what, QB's played better games before. And I'm interested to watch. Can he stay positive? Can he finish this game off on a good note?
Catch in the middle. It's sharp. They knock him down right at the 20-yard line. Not enough for the first down, but maybe they'll keep the offense on the field. So here we are on 4th down, and this field goal kicker is going to face all the pressure in the world. He slides that just inside the right upright. And now they've taken the lead in the final 2 minutes and set the stage for a great finish. He calls for the fair catch and makes it deep in his own end, and he might have been better off seeing if that ball would just trickle into the end zone. The drive starts from their own 25-yard line. To the air, it's Stockton. And he can't connect on the throw. It's incomplete. Looks as if we have an injury on that last play, and we'll take a break to check him out. After the incompletion, it's 2nd and 10 from their own 25. Here's a throw downfield late. He's got it on the outside. Open spaces.
After giving up that big shot defensively, how confident are you calling that coverage again? You're now on your own end of the field, and now your backs are against the wall.
Explosive plays are great, but you got to finish the deal. 1st and 10 in the red zone. The give to the lone running back. Stopped at the 13-yard line as they try to turn this into points. Timeout called by the defense. It's their first of the half as they'll go to the sideline and try to make adjustments. Going to work on 2nd down in the red zone, and still some ground to cover to pick up that first down. And that's going to fall to the ground incomplete. That was a physical matchup there. 3rd down coming.
3rd and long. Defense knows the pass is coming, so they're going to have guys with their eyes on the QB, but they're going to try to get to him with pressure, pinning their ears back. If you're on offense, you might be thinking blitz here. You better get rid of this one quick.
Grab on 3rd. They'll stop him short on 3rd down, in this defense trying to make sure they stay on top. Referee signals timeout as the defense wanting to make sure that they have everything just right with a big play coming. And they are coming out for what will be a huge field goal attempt. At this point in the game, and this crowd knows this is a huge field goal attempt. It is good. They take the lead just over a minute to go, and now, guys, the challenge, try to stay on top. He'll bring it back from inside his 5. Slips through the line. Got a little room. Can they catch him? LSU will dive into the playbook here on offense. And they've put themselves in great shape to find a way to win this game in the waning seconds, Jesse.
And this is every quarterback's dream, right? You're down late in the game. You've got to be able to step up and lead your team. I can't wait to see how this guy responds.
No doubt. Ernie on their side of the field. Plenty of time left on the clock. Stay aggressive. This is your moment.
Looking for room. It's Berry. And there was nowhere to go. Just stopped in his tracks in the backfield.
Well, that's nice by the running back there, showing you his experience and his self-control, because a lot of guys would have tried to bounce that football to the outside, but he understands the assignment. We're in the middle of the field. We need to stay in the middle of the field to give our kicker the best field position and angle possible to go and kick this game-winning field goal.
Timeout is called with just a single second left.
Timeout, LSU.
A huge pressurized kick coming right now as this game hangs in the balance. And it's good. The short field goal for the game. Not all close games are created equal, but this one, man, what a ride. A matchup. Welcome back to Dynamite. Next, let's choose your rosters. If you're looking for the latest EA Sports, here is where you can cut. It's now time to select your team. Would you prefer to take over an established contender or build a team from the ground up? Pay attention to each team's prestige rating, represented by the number of stars next to each team's name. Teams with a higher prestige will be ready to compete for the college football playoff right away. On the other hand, lower prestige teams provide a greater challenge to build into contenders. The choice is yours. Welcome to the banks of the Mississippi River, Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium in Memphis, home to the Memphis Tigers. As we'll see a squad from the Big Ten, the Purdue Boilermakers, taking on a squad from the American, the Memphis Tigers. For EA Sports College Football, I'm Reese Davis, joined here in the booth by David Pollack and Jesse Palmer. And guys, let's get this thing started. The Boilermakers will put total leather to crank us up. And it'll be a touchback. The ball will come out to the 25-yard line. Wants to pass. Finds his tight end. Discards him with the stiff arm. All the way out across the 45-yard line. Marking out of bounds at the 46. That throw and catch, a really good example of why coaches don't want a quarterback to get stuck on a particular target, isn't it, David?
Yep, it's exactly right. Find the guy who's open, because you got so many guys that have so much speed that can do so much damage on the field. Find my matchup, get it to him, let him do the rest.
Looking downfield on first down. Quarterback moving out of the pocket. Good pick up there. They'll move the chains, and they're set up at the 41.
Well, he does a really nice job buying time, and I love the awareness there, understanding no one's open downfield, knowing where the sticks are, and he's able to use his athleticism to get that first down.
Not much running room there thanks to this senior defender.
You definitely want to commit to the run game. You want to establish the run game. You want the defense to honor it. But if it doesn't work a little later down the road, you might think about airing that puppy out.
Off play action. Bringing the heat. Now improvising. Just too much of a rush, and down goes the quarterback just behind the midfield stripe at the 49.
Really nice play call there by the defensive coordinator as well. He was trying to do something aggressive to stop the momentum of the offense. They looked pretty good on this drive. They were marching the football down the field, but on that...
It's a seam wide open, and they explode on that one, and they've got it down to the 22.
On the defense, I got to find a way to get some more pressure on the quarterback or disrupt their timing and their rhythm. I can't give them these big chunk plays through the air. I got to be maybe a little bit more aggressive or do something a little bit different.
And he's left with no option. He just threw it away.
A nice job by the quarterback there. You're outside the pocket, nobody's open, so you throw the ball away knowing that you still have more chances to get this first down.
Plenty of distance between them and the sticks here on second down. He breaks the tackle. He rolls all the way down the 5-yard line before they finally get him stopped.
You've got to be loving what you're seeing from your offense here on the opening drive of this game. They're in a really nice rhythm. They've got real good balance going on right now, and they've got the defense on their heels.
On first and goal, let's see if Memphis can get it in the end zone. They'll try to get it in with the run. That is a big win for this defense as they were right there as soon as he got the ball.
And wow, the defense was in there quick, fast, and in a hurry and shut that run game down. Like, they were ready for that second down now. A little more space for the offense, backed up, a little more room to operate and try to maybe find some windows to throw a football.
Well, on the opening drive of the game, establishing a rhythm and a cadence offensively is really, really important. They've done some good things on this first drive to put them in this situation. Obviously, you just threw an incompletion.
Touchdown, Tiger! Quick strike through the air for the score.
You love as a head coach to watch your offense take the field and establish a rhythm and consistency the way they did there. Everything they dialed up was working to perfection. They go 10 plays on the opening drive and cap it off with a touchdown.
Setting up for the extra point after the first score of the game. And the extra point makes it 7-0. So a drive there of 84 yards, and they get it into the end zone with a 6-yard touchdown pass. Fielded in the end zone. It's Thomas. I imagine he's going to get an earful on the sideline after bringing it out of the end zone and being knocked down at the 11. Starts a drive trying to go up top. Caught in the backfield, it's Thomas. And a good job in coverage there as they stop it after just a few.
Well, your opponent scored on their opening drive, so obviously no need to panic. But I know, having been in this situation as a quarterback, you want to answer right away. So really good to see him making some nice throws here on their opening drive. He's going to try and see if he can get this thing tied up.
Going to swing it on second down. Grabbed in the backfield. It's Rakobi. And good blocking in space out there to give him enough room to pick up the first down.
Memphis 7, Purdue 0.
First play of the period, first down here. Quickly to the tight end.
And watch the offensive line here. They all block run. Because they're blocking run, the quarterback decides, oh, I got a favorable matchup. He dumps it out to the right, makes the right read, gets a nice positive gain.
The Boilermakers have their whole playbook open here on 2nd and inches. Grab near the marker. It's McCoby. And he's got enough for the first down. They'll mark it at the 34.
I just love quarterbacks that aren't greedy and that aren't always trying to throw the home run ball, right? Second down, you're in your own end of the field. The guy you want to throw to is not open. Just find the back. He'll go do something positive with it. This guy is a weapon, and you got to find him.
Oh, he's got some space. He's going to be out of bounds, but not before he gets it to midfield.
I like the QB here. Very decisive, understanding I get the ball to my slot guy, he can make plays after it. Like the quickness, the speed, the elusiveness. You watch it, man, just he catches the football and a big play can happen. And you saw after the catch, man, he's got some wheels.
Really putting together a threat now. They get the first. It's at the 37.
Now, I know that completion isn't a touchdown. It's not a deep play deep down the field, but how about the strong hands by that receiver making that catch? He made that look pretty routine. He had that DB draped all over him and still was able to help this offense get positive yards.
And the Boilermakers have it with a 1st and 10. Looking to throw again. Fires to the tight end.
I'll tell you, I love the play call on 1st down here. You're just trying to find an easy completion, and the shortest throw on the field for the quarterback is finding your biggest target, and that's the tight end. Nice job.
The Boilermakers can really attack on this 2nd and short. They'll throw it to the back on the screen. And that did not work. Defense smelled that one out from the beginning.
And you're trying to get the ball to running back quick and let him get some space, but there was absolutely no space. They penetrated quickly, and they got him before he could even get going.
Wants to throw on 3rd. Finds his man. It's McCoby. He'll be stopped about 2 yards short of a 1st down.
Hey, really nice job on defense, too, understanding the situation. It's 3rd down. We're fine giving up completions right there. We're not giving up the 1st down. We're keeping the football and the ball carrier in front of us, and we're tackling the catch. Awesome job, and now you've set up 4th down.
On 4th down, he'll try to toss it. He's got it. 1st down and more. They've got enough for the 1st down, and they're in the red zone at the 20. No hesitation, no trying to baby the ball in there. He just fired it complete.
4th down, no problem. I'm just going to rip this to my wide receiver. He believed in himself. He knew he could get it, and they get the 4th down conversion.
Got it in the middle. It's Moore. That completion will take it inside the 4, and the offense is threatening.
Well, it wasn't a great start for this quarterback, but on this drive, he seems to be turning the corner. He just looks like he's playing in a different rhythm. He's seeing the field better. It's almost as if the game is starting to slow down for him. I think on that last completion, it was a good example of that.
He's looking to throw. Caught in the backfield. It's McCoby. And they're going to lose yardage there. The defense completely owning the front. Can the D deny them on 2nd and goal? Here we go. Motion from the wide receiver. Looking downfield very late in the half. Big fella moving. Into the end zone. Touchdown, Purdue!
And this offense really struggled in the 1st half, but how about taking the last possession down the field, punching 6 on the board with a chance to tie this football game up. Low scoring, but nice job finishing this half with a touchdown.
And the extra point was good to finish things off. They're getting set to kick it away, and that last score took a little oomph out of this crowd. Looks like he's going to bring it out. Stopped at the 26, brought it out in the end zone, picked up an extra yard. Inside 30 seconds to play in the half. We'll see how aggressive they are on this drive. Lewis to throw. Shoots it to the left. It's complete. They finally get to him. But what a play there to pick up the 1st down. The offense calls a timeout to stop the clock.
Well, Reese, you and I were talking about this before the game. How is this defense going to be able to deal with all the speed they have offensively? You saw them just rip off a big play.
And, Jesse, now their head's spinning just a little bit. Give up a big chunk play, and it's right back at them. Wants to go up top on first down. Rushes on him. Looking deep. He can't find his man, and the clock stops with 6 seconds left.
The offense just has not been able to find a way to get their rhythm going here in the first half. We just haven't seen it in the passing game. That was a really good example of it again. If they're going to score more points in the second half, they've got to make some adjustments here at halftime.
They'll have just enough time to get one more snap before the half. Misfired on first down, back to the air on second. Incomplete. He took a shot on the final play of the quarter and couldn't quite find his man. Memphis ready to kick it deep and get the second half going. Fielded in the end zone, it's Thomas. And the return man is stopped, and that'll leave it up to the offense on the next drive. Good news, I guess. A lot of room to work with as they start this drive from their own 15. First play of the drive, wants to throw. Grabbed in the middle, it's McCoby. And the defense had that one well covered, just a short gain there.
Yeah, and you see running backs in today's football, they play wide receiver basically for you, but you got to find a guy that you can throw it to, and you know he's going to catch the ball consistently.
Second down, they'll go to the air. Grab behind the line. It's McCoby. He's brought down, but he went backwards after that completion, not the way they had it drawn up.
And listen, if I'm the quarterback, I'm trying to dump the ball off to my playmaker and make this a manageable third down, get something positive. But how about the defense just reacting so fast, getting to the running back, and getting that sucker on the ground in the open field?
They've got to come up with a big play on this third and long. From the gun, wants to pass. Looking to buy time. Lets it fly. A strike downfield. Solid work and execution there. They'll have a first down as they mark it at the 40.
That's going to drive the defensive coordinator crazy because these guys take pride on their sub-defense packages. When you get into third and long situations, that's when D coordinators love to get creative and throw all these exotic blitzes and pressure the quarterback. Nobody got even close to him that time. Way too much time to survey the field. And that was just way too easy for the offense to pick up that first.
And we need more of this from this defense, man. They have let this guy have too much time to throw the football. They haven't gotten that jersey dirty yet, haven't sacked him. But this is just as good as a sack. Getting to him, hitting him, letting him feel the physicality of this game, and not letting him feel comfortable.
Got a good one going here. All tied up in the third. It's 2nd and 10. Back to pass. Caught in the backfield, it's McCoby. He's there to make the stop, and they threw it in reverse, losing yardage on that play.
They try to spin it out to the running back on the perimeter of the field. You saw the speed and recognition by the defense, though, how quickly they were able to get to the back and get him down for a big loss.
On third and long, you'll need to push it downfield. Oh, it's picked off. Oh, that's not the way to start a drive. He's knocked down, but what a play to come up with the interception.
You got to be so careful, too, Dave, because on third and long, they're playing their nickel now. They've got extra DBs on the field. Those windows are going to open and close really, really quickly. And I think that time the quarterback got a little too greedy trying to fit that football in a small window.
He did, and I like the zone coverage, too, because everybody's staring at the quarterback, so you can get a really good break on the football, knowing where the sticks are. They break on it, and they get the big interception.
They got nothing on the last play. It's 2nd and 10. Lewis wants to pass. Moving out of the pocket. He takes a hit as he fires. Can't make the connection. The pressure there caused the missed timing.
And the QB leaves the pocket, and he scrambles out, and he goes to his right. And I love how he keeps his eyes down the field, trying to make a play, trying to throw the football, but the relentless chase. I love it. Getting to the quarterback. He throws an inaccurate pass because he gets whacked as he throws the football. Nice job chasing by the defense.
Throwing on the run. And that'll be incomplete. They certainly weren't afraid to take a shot there, and now it's 4th down.
Well, the best thing that's happened so far in this game for this offense has been looking this guy's way and giving him a shot. He has their only touchdown in this game, so they're trying to take another shot down the field. Good job in coverage defensively. You've got to be aware of where this guy is because right now he's been their biggest ball.
And he's all bottled up, and now it's worse. The ball's look nothing but green grass down the middle. Defense picks it up. Touchdown, Boilermakers! This defense making a big play and putting it in the end zone.
And the defense comes with the blitz. Nice job getting to the quarterback. And don't just get there. Try to strip that football out. They get the QB to the ground. The ball's out. They scoop it up, take it all the way back to the house for 6.
And the extra point was good as they finished the drive. Kickoff unit on the field, and this defense will be called on to protect this lead. Coming out with it, it's Hawkins. Not nearly as much as he'd hoped when he brought it out of the end zone. He'll be stopped at the 15. This drive will open from the 15. Got the quick completion. And just a short, safe pass play. They pick up a few.
And a great job by the defense seeing it right away, reacting to the screen, going and getting the football, and getting the fast playmaker on the ground.
Time winding down in the quarter as they come to the line. Lewis to throw. Trying to beat the D deep. Intercepted, and that is the last thing they needed. Finds a seam. And what a way to end the quarter for this defense, forcing the big turnover.
Purdue 14, Memphis 7.
Final stands of the game, and we'll start with the first down. To the air on first down. Got it behind the line. It's McCoby. And a good job of coverage by that defense, just a short pickup. They were able to make the completion, but he had to pick his way for just a little bit. Needed a little more help to spring him for some yardage.
Yeah, if you're going to have success when you throw it outside like that, you're going to need some more blocking and better blocking downfield. Give the defense credit, though. They were able to rally and made a tackle.
And they pick up just a few on that completion.
Guys at the backfield now, it's not just run the ball downfield anymore. You got to be versatile. I got to be able to trust you in the pass game, and I got to be able to throw you the football, and you can do that right there. I know you're going to catch it, and I can depend on you.
Caught over the middle. It's McCoby. He's got enough. It'll be a first down. They've got it up to 12.
And you just get the feeling that this defense has to find a way to get off the field and get the football back at this juncture of the game, trailing late if they're going to win.
2-minute timeout arrives, and this defense desperately needs to get the football back. The Boilermakers will have it 1st and 10. Quarterback may change this route. Wants to keep it in the air. Buys a little extra time. He's tackled right at the 10-yard line, and they're trying to cash in on this drive.
This defense is not going to be patient with this quarterback. They know that they have to affect him, and they have to dictate to him. So that time, they send the blitz. They're not even giving him an opportunity to sit back there and peruse the field. They flush him out. They're able to rally to him, get him down to the ground. I like the aggressive nature of the defense.
defense uses a timeout quickly, trying to get that ball back and preserve time for their offense. They'll keep it on the ground. They want this clock to move. Into the end zone he goes. Touchdown, Purdue!
And, you know, late in the games, offenses sometimes get conservative when they got the lead and they got the ball. I love this offense. They were aggressive. They got another score added to the lead. Now you're trying to salt this game away.
And they add the extra point to finish the drive. On the run from inside his own 5. Just never had a chance to shake loose, and he'll be brought down at the 24. They'll snap the ball. First play of the drive coming from their own 24. Lewis wants to pass. He wants a big play here late. And that'll be incomplete. They tried to hit him with a big one on first down.
I understand the sense of urgency for the offense now because you're trailing here by a lot in the fourth quarter, and you're just trying to take a shot to see if you can get on the board and get some.
And the Heat gets there, and they get him down at the 14-yard line.
This defense right now is pinning their ears back with a huge lead in the fourth quarter, and you're seeing that coming off the edge. They're not even respecting run because they don't have to. They know that this opponent is going to throw the football. They're taking wider splits.
He's going for the big play. And they wanted it all on third down, but now dealing with fourth down.
After that incompletion, 4th and long now on your own side of the field, you're trailing in the fourth quarter. What's your go-to play call here in the passing game? Where is the matchup that you trust in to come up with a big...
Down he goes, and the defense snuffs out this drive with a sack.
And that just about does it. That about puts this thing to bed. The offense, listen, they had to go for it, but now defense, this is the situation where you say, I'm just going to eat clock, up by several possessions, eat clock, get out of here with a W.
Working that left side now.
The offense trying to throw it there quickly down close to the goal line. Nice job by the defense tackling the catch.
They've moved him forward to the 2. Now it's 2nd and goal. They'll run play action. He's going for the goal line. Gets it into the end zone, but wait a minute. We'll have to check out the laundry on the field. Maybe a momentary scare for that offense when they saw the flag. It's on, the defense declined, and the touchdown stands. And the extra point splits the uprights, and they're up a full 3 touchdowns, a 21-point cushion in the fourth. Kickoff unit back to work, and they have been busy as they've built this sizable lead. And he takes this from inside the 5. He was looking for some running room, but not much to be found as he stopped at the 18. Lewis to throw. Pocket breaking down. And the defense makes a play, sacking him back at the 10.
And that play is a microcosm of what this game has been. They have not been able to protect their quarterback all game long, early or late, up front. Moving forward, this offense has got to do a better job or else they're going to be in a lot of trouble. You cannot give up as many sacks as they have in this game and expect to win.
That had all the makings of bug meat windshield, but how about the little corner taking on the big tight end and keeping him from getting the first? On 3rd and long, try to convert through the air. A deep throw as the clock winds down. And he is finding wide open defenders all over the field. His 3rd interception of the day.
And that's kind of what this offense has done all day. They have struggled. They haven't gotten a rhythm. They haven't found a way to get points on the scoreboard. And late in this game, when your defense and your team really needed it the most, Palmer, they throw the INT.
And it's a microcosm, too, of just how dumb.
Gonna take a shot. Touchdown, Boilermakers! They took a shot to the end zone and found 6 points waiting on them.
And you knew this one was over already, but how about an exclamation point to go with it? Another score for this offense. They've had themselves a great day, and the stats just continue to pile up.
This is what you're looking for when you have the better team. Go out and show it. Don't fool around with them. Go out and play to a standard of excellence.
Just dominate. You know you're going to take care of business. You know you're going to win. It's like how many? How many can I win by? And I like that you keep your foot on the gas and just continue to pile it on. It's their job to stop you. Let them do their job. You just keep going on.
It's not about the X's and the O's. It's the Jimmies and the Joes. This is why recruiting is so important in college football. They just had better players, more physical, they were faster, and it showed today.
That will put the wrap on things from here. For David Pollack and Jesse Palmer, I'm Reese Davis. You've been watching another presentation of EA Sports College Football.